So this will be my first video in my stroke rehabilitation blog. So I'm still in hospital, lovely hospital pajamas, because I wasn't allowed to bring, or my wife wasn't allowed to bring in any clothing for me to wear. So I just had the clothes that arrived in the hospital. And I'm due to leave today, having suffered a stroke and been through a whole bunch of tests and some rehabilitation exercises and whatnot for a few days, and now we're heading home later today. I've got one more little test to have, which was decided upon because my hand had swollen up just after the stroke happened, and they thought I might have a DVT in my arm, and then so an ultrasound of my arm was kind of recommended, and it kind of put into the system, and then it never happened, and now it's in the system. It has to be done before I go home, because if I do have a DVT or any other problem associated with my arm and they didn't do the test, I could sue their asses, basically. And they're all worried about that. So, although they're not admitting it, but not to worry, it's not a big deal, and I'll be getting home soon. I'm going to try and do a daily video log. I've only just started this today, so I've already made something of a recovery. I've been pretty lucky. You might notice that the right hand side of my face isn't working terribly well. I may be not speaking quite as clearly as I was. I don't seem to have any trouble finding words, but my face did fall a little bit on the right hand side. So that's one of the problems I had. The other problem was my right arm, and I was pretty lucky, really. It's a pretty minor stroke, a pretty small stroke. But the reason I've done a video log, I'm starting this video log, is firstly just to record how I progress from day to day, which I think might be interesting. But more than that, to perhaps offer some encouragement to other people who might have strokes, might be struggling to recover. I'm expected to make a fairly full recovery and get my arm and hand use pretty much back to normal, even though there's a small part of my brain that's been effectively destroyed by the stroke. The brain will sort of be able to sort of rewire it to a certain extent, or utilize other pathways to get the movement back in my arm, and the slight effect on my face should just recover on its own. So that's the situation. I'm here in this wonderful day room that they have, which is all done out like 1960s. I'll just change the camera around and show you that. Yeah, so we've got this fantastic decor in this day room in the hospital. And Doris Day and Barbara Windsor pictures, Peter Sellers and Elvis. So sort of 50s and 60s stuff. And I guess for a lot of people who have strokes, they would kind of remember this kind of decor and find it sort of a reassuring place to sit. Although having said that, it tends to be used by the hospital staff for their meal breaks and coffee breaks, and they have some cake on the table there. But it's the only place I can get any sort of a view from this hospital. I can actually see out to the Forth Estuary there. Past, is that the old linoleum factory? It might be, in Kirkcaldy. And I did see a deer down there in the trees a couple of days ago, which was quite interesting. But anyway, yeah, I've got this last test to have, so they'll be coming for me soon, so I shall wander back to the ward.